Good day, you're watching the latest news from Kazakhstan and I'm Askar Sheraliyev. The closest circle of Nursultan Nazarbayev is getting thin. Vladimir Ni dies at age 78. EU MPs who visited Kazakhstan demands cancel the OSCE summit in Astana. Kazakh Authors Union filed a lawsuit against the Almaty TV station. The closest circle of Nursultan Nazarbayev is getting thinner, according to the information agencies. After the prolonged illness, Vladimir Ni died at age 78. He was one of the most influential companions of Nazarbayev. The former head of the Department of the Presidential Affairs was often called as the secret advisor and personal treasurer of Nazarbayev, who knew everything, including private and financial deals. Vladimir Ni died at one of the Swith clinics. The body will be transported back to Kazakhstan and the funeral is planned for Sunday. The former head of the Department of Presidential Affairs was considered the power behind the throne in the Kazakh politics. He was seen as part of the Korean group, which controlled Kazakhmys Corporation and a number of other assets. Ni was linked to the internet scandals with the appearance of audio recordings potentially harmful to high-ranking officials. In one instance, a person with a voice similar to Ni's discussed the purchase of a private jet for the Kazakh president and asked businessmen to invest into the election campaign of the ruling party Nuratan. Public activist Altansha Zhaganova took the news of Vladimir Ni's demise with sadness. She speaks only well of the dead and feels sorry for the president. I believe we have lost a very good person who helped our head of state along. The president's press service reports that Nursultan Nazarbayev has already sent his condolences to the family of the dead. Vladimir Ni became Nazarbayev's advisor back in 1985, a year after Nazarbayev was elected the chair of the Kazakh Soviet Republic's Council of Ministers. There are a lot of rumors circulating about the roots of his friendship. According to one of them, Ni was the only person who supported Nazarbayev during the out-of-favor years. Unfortunately, this fact is difficult to prove now, but the friendship's result is obvious, as the two men spent more than a quarter of a century ruling the country together. There's always some balance in the administration, and that balance, as well as the correlation of the experience and energy of young people, is something to strive for in any staff policies or systems. A heavyweight of Kazakh politics who used to be Nazarbayev's comrade and is now the president's vocal opponent, Serik Balsyn Abdildin, sent his condolences to Ni's family as well. He says that the age is taking its toll, and the key problem of the country is the lack of the power change mechanism. Nazarbayev is the president for life who eliminated all legal basis for choosing a new president. There are no legal ways to replace the authorities, and there is seemingly no system for training new staff. In this sense, Kazakhstan can encounter huge problems at any time. According to Abdildin, the current elites are comprised completely of average administrators. All of them went through the state school of the Nazarbayev's age, which never graduated vivid politicians. Even during the Soviet times, a lot of attention was paid to the personnel reproduction. Many historians believe that the system collapsed as soon as the lack of fresh minds became apparent. Now Kazakhstan establishment risks to repeat the mistakes of the empire, and the late comrades of the head of state is the proof of that. The recipe for longevity is being searched in Kazakhstan. Upon the request of the leader of nation Nursultan Nazarbayev, the university with the same name has started to develop the so-called youth elixir. It was informed today during the online conference in Astana by the Vice Minister of Healthcare, Salidat Karibekova. This will be the first project launched at the Scientific Center of the Nazarbayev University. Today, the representatives of the Healthcare Ministry has informed about other ambitious goals of the ministry. In the nearest future, they plan to prolong the age of Kazakh citizens to 70 years. This way, the average lifespan will increase to 2 years from 68 to 71. Besides genetic researches, the medical workers promise to work on the physical health of Kazakh citizens. They will try to promote healthy lifestyle. It is planned to research the priority directions in regenerative and restorative medicine using the base of the scientific center, the premature aging, active longevity. Of course, the latest world researches and developments will be considered. The golf game, as it was proven by the scientists, prolongs life to about 5 years. Probably that's why the game of the Scottish Shepherds is very popular among the Kazakh elite, including the president. This is already the third day of Kazakhstan Open Golf Tournament. Professional players from more than a dozen of European countries have joined the game today. There are also 6 Kazakhs among them. According to the organizers and the sportsmen, the tournament is very tense. No wonder, as the prize pool of the sixth golf tournament, Kazakhstan Open, is 400,000 euros. The winner will receive 67,000 euros. The rest will be divided based on percentage ratio and points. But golf, this is not just a sport. This is also communication, the resolution of financial and political issues between the parties. Golf makes it possible. Within the process, you have enough time to communicate. The game process itself takes about 5 to 10% of time. The rest is walking and enjoying the nature. At this very moment, you may find a compromise. The game of Scottish Shepherds is very popular among Kazakh elite. The first on the list is the president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. His son-in-law, Timur Kulibayev, head of the National Security Committee, Nurtay Bakayev, Ahmedjan Yesimov, and many others were seen at the golf fields as well. During these days, the tournament was joined by the head of Kazatomprom, Vladimir Shkolnik, former Interior Minister Baurjan Muhamedjanov, and several other major businessmen. The minimal cost of the outfit is around $1,000 plus the rent of the field trainer. This is already almost $3,000. But these are the most modest calculations. The cost of the kit might range anything in between $500 to $40,000. All depends on the quality, technology, and so on. Moreover, the maintenance of 72 hectares of golf field is also very expensive. The investments into golf are substantial. This tournament alone has over 20 sponsors. The elite gladly invests into the sports they like. The fire in the northeastern Kazakhstan was localized, informed the emergencies ministry officials. The fire has spread to the forests on the territory of Pavlodar and East Kazakhstan regions. In one night, the fire has spread to the territory of Russia and the national park Semey-Armany, located 200 kilometers from Semey. The rescuers were not able to save the lives of 6 people. Another 3 victims of the fire are currently in the hospital. The residents of 3 villages were evacuated. The primary version of the fire is the short circuit on the power line. It was voiced by the Kazakh Emergencies Ministry Vladimir Bashko. According to the preliminary data, the total area of fire has exceeded 3,600 hectares. The amount of the damage to the state was not yet calculated. Aygoja Alibayev will be able to walk only in 2 weeks. His hands and legs were burned down. The resident of Bezkaragay district ended up in the epicenter of the forest fire on Wednesday in the eastern Kazakhstan. He and his fellow villager were storing hay while they were entrapped by the When we were sitting in the tractor, we felt the heat and we had to hide in the tractor. Still, when I close my eyes, I see fire and can't fall asleep. The forest fires have emerged on September 8th on the northeastern Kazakhstan. 6 people died. 3 of them were rangers. Another woman is in the reanimation. 3 hotbeds of fire were registered in total. They were liquidated yesterday evening. The total area of fire is estimated at around 4,000 hectares. According to the preliminary version, the fire was caused by short circuit on the power line. The Committee of the Forest Economy has not yet calculated the amount of the damage. They offer us to use the calculator. Meanwhile, the evacuated people are returning to their homes. In total, around 300 people were evacuated from the danger zone. Villagers recalled that they had no time to collect their belongings. The rescuers asked them to take only documents and money. You can't see anything in there, fire, flames, you can't even approach it. The authorities promised that compensations in the amount of $6,800 will be paid to those whose relatives have died in the fire. 3 rangers who were killed by fire will be awarded posthumously. The region has introduced a high fire alert. The Chinese CNPC Aktobe Gas Company is planning to levy $30,000 from 3 oil workers of Zhanazhol. The workers Karlabay Talabayev, Kosain Kulmuratov and Serik Bitikbayev were fired after the summer strike in Zhanazhol village. They were recognized as the organizers of the strike, and the court has decided that the workers have illegally stopped the work of the plant. The workers have filed a lawsuit demanding to restore their job. The examination of the petition is scheduled for Monday. The oil company has appealed to the court with a counterclaim demanding to set a levy over the idle time of the enterprise. These court hearings are scheduled for September 20th. The staff of the independent labor union Narazılık has organized the collection of signatures in support of these workers. Over 800 people already signed a petition. Now we're searching for a good lawyer that could protect us. The workers are protesting in written form against the dismissal. They're already being threatened. They tell 2 other workers that they also will be persecuted. These are the threats of the leadership. The members of the European Parliament who met with the dismissed oil workers in October during their tour around Kazakhstan have conducted a press conference in Strasbourg on Wednesday. The delegation of the European Parliament from the left-wing faction headed by Joe Higgins has prepared a report based on their tour and distributed a press release where they sharply criticize Kazakh authorities for gross violations of human rights in Kazakhstan. In connection to this, the members of the European Parliament have called to cancel the OSCE summit, which is planned for December in Astana. The delegation of the European parliamentarians have visited Kazakhstan between August 30th and September 6th. The Western guests have visited Almaty, Astana and the regions, took part in the conference of the shareholders and creditors. EU MP Joe Higgins is one of the leaders of the Trotskyite Social Party. According to him, what he saw in Kazakhstan does not correspond to the democratic norms, and particularly the rights of the workers and convicts are being violated.
Yes, we will do a report on the meetings we've had, the conditions we have found, the problems for the working class, for the youth, for migrant workers, for prisoners as well. We've learned about bad conditions in the prisons. We will present a report to the European Left Group of 35 MEPs in the Parliament.
The fugitives from authoritarian Uzbekistan were not able to find support in Kazakhstan. The authorities of the country have initiated an extradition of Uzbek citizens who were detained 3 months ago by the police as a result of migrant operation. One of the refugees was already sent back to Uzbekistan. Another 29 are waiting for their fate. The international human rights organizations have initiated a signature collection to protect the citizens of Uzbekistan who are accused of committing felonies in their native country. Even the administration of the UN Supreme Commissar over the refugees issues that has provided all 30 Uzbek citizens with the refugee status is not able to influence the decision of Kazakh authorities. One of the 30 Uzbek citizens who are demanding the refugee status in Kazakhstan were extradited back to Uzbekistan. The letter from the National Security Committee Department that confirms this information was delivered to the lawyer Burumkulova. According to the document, 27-year-old Khurshid Kamilov was extradited. The official Tashkent is accusing a group of its citizens in terrorism, attempted killing of the president and other political crimes. We would like to be protected and not deported back to Uzbekistan. This is not the reason we came here. If Kazakhstan is unable to protect us, let them give us some time to leave this place. The group of 30 Uzbeks was detained on June 9th, officially during the migrant operation. All the detainees have the mandate from the UN Commissariat on Refugee Issues on receiving the corresponding status. However, since March 2010, the power to make the final decision was granted to Kazakhstan. The procedure to receive the status of the refugee has become more complex. The International Foundation Human Rights in Central Asia has even organized a collection of signatures to influence the decision of Kazakhstan. First of all, it is wrong to give away people like this. Secondly, Uzbekistan is continuing to torture people. According to our information, the bodies of tortured people always arrive from the colonies. Kazakhstan is the country that chairs the OSCE. It bears the political responsibility. Unfortunately, this initiative will not help Khurshid Kamilov. The rest 29 Uzbek citizens are in tension as the fate of some who are detained at the National Security Committee's ward is still unknown. The Uzbek embassy in Kazakhstan doesn't comment on the fact of the extradition of its citizen.